Hello, my name is Nicole, and thank you so much for taking this time out to listen. Today, this message is titled, How to Let Go of People Who Are Still Holding On to You. How to let go of people who are still holding on to you. Now, you have already disconnected from these individuals. You simply said, you know what? I'm not going to continue to deal with this sort of thing coming from this one and that one. I'm breaking up with this person. I'm distancing myself from this coworker. I'm not going over here to this particular place anymore. Oh, I am pulling myself up out of these situations, and good for you. But then along comes another challenge. And this challenge is, they don't want to let go of you. You see, we can't control what people's thoughts are. We can't make them think the way we think. We could give them a long list of things that we don't like about a situation or what we don't like about them. And some people will not take no for an answer. Some people will not accept the fact that there is no longer us or we. Some people are going to fight you tooth and nail and tell you, no, you are wrong. You are mistaken. Why don't you reconsider? You know, this isn't really as bad as you claim. Why don't you just get a grip? Come on, let's work together. And meanwhile, you are having your doubts. Meanwhile, you're thinking maybe the possibility of us getting back together just might work. Maybe I could change some situations at work. Yeah, that's right. And maybe, just maybe, these people will follow suit. So let's just say you do that. Let's just say that you do go back and you do tweak some things and things are going along quite well. Initially, they always do. Okay. I have been with people who we had our issues, we ended up breaking up, and then we went back. So it always starts off good. And people ask you, your friends, your family, other folks, how's everything? You say, oh, it's so great. You know, he did this for me. He did that. Or, you know, if you're a man listening to this message, oh, she is really sweet. She's really nice. I mean, I don't know. I guess I was, you know, just having a moment. You know, this relationship isn't as bad as I thought, or this connection or this organization. I mean, this also happens with business too. You disconnect from a business, but then the next thing you know, you reconnect with the business again. Things are going along quite smoothly. Now, wait a minute. We got the same problem showing up again. Sooner or later, you've got to sever these ties altogether. The phone calls are going to come. People are going to want to be a part of your world again. You might as well, you know, face that. But do you have to accept it? Do you have to reconsider? Do you have to doubt what your initial decision was in letting go? Absolutely not. I am standing by what I said. No matter how sexy you come across, no matter how much money you give me, no matter, you know, what promises are ahead or what honeymoon we should take, I am telling you that this is no longer working. Okay. Some people, you might even have to talk that slow. You might even have to raise your voice. You might even have to go down to the police station and fill out a report. I know I had to. Oh yeah. It got bad. You see, constant, back in those days, it was the pagers. I'm dating myself, but it was. And the guy just kept blowing up my pager, Now, listen, we already broke up with law enforcement involved. Now you're taking it to a whole nother level with all these threats and everything else. Okay, now I got to go and get some paperwork. This is getting ridiculous. And some of you, all you just might have to do that. You might have to contact a lawyer, have a lawyer write up a letter, send it to the business. I do not want you contacting me anymore. I mean, you know, it's sad that we have to go to those extremes at times, but it's for your safety. You know, you don't want to have to deal later on with a lawsuit from someone. So you have to cover your bases. Okay. There is this cognitive dissonance with some of these folks that takes place. And for those of you all who are not familiar with that particular psychological term, I'm going to go over to Wikipedia and give you the definition as well as a few other sites. Wikipedia says cognitive dissonance is the mental stress or discomfort experienced by an individual who holds two or more contradictory beliefs, ideas, or values. It goes on. Simplepsychology.org says cognitive dissonance refers to a situation involving conflicting attitudes, beliefs, or behaviors. Then, of course, this produces a feeling of discomfort. ChangingMinds.org says cognitive dissonance. This is the feeling of uncomfortable tension, which comes from holding two conflicting thoughts in the mind at the same time. So sometimes these people know that the relationship or the partnership is just not doable. It's no longer working. It's no longer beneficial. But at the same time, they're missing the good old days. But I remember back in the day, though, she really did come across, in such a nice, sweet, caring way. Oh, I remember when he was so attentive and he bought me gifts. Oh, those were the good old days. I remember when this business, they just brought so much revenue, to us. And, we had such a great partnership. Maybe we could still, rekindle those good old days. Maybe we could, of course, wishful thinking, hope, that's all good. But reality, come on now. Some of you all pray prayers now. Don't get God involved in your mess if you don't want to deal with all of the things that he is showing you about some people or some groups. God's not about the good old days. He's not good. He's not about the nostalgic moments. Okay. He's not standing there with the violin and playing the sweet, love songs of yesteryear. He's not doing that. We do that though. We watch movies that conjure up all these thoughts of the good old days. We're the ones who sit there putting music to our ears and listening to sounds that reminded us of way back when. We're the ones who open up, books and we pull out statements of the good old days and the awards and the accolades and the photos. You see, we do all of that, and all of that fantasy, all of, the memories, those things that we use to try to create something positive out of something that is negative, out of something that has expired, is what keeps us tied to people who want us to continue to stay in their mess, to continue to connect with them and deal with all of their foolishness. Okay. We did have a good run. It was nice, but God has taken me somewhere else. We don't have to tell them everything we noticed about them. We don't have to expose everything, but God shows us early on how people are. And he tells us, listen, this one right here is not going to take too kindly to you doing A, B, and C. Or this one right here, how you can be. So you might want to walk softly because this one will run on you. Or this one will, cause some pain, or, any number of things. He shows us early on. But what do? We dismiss things. We say, no, that's not what I see. I see something else. No. I don't believe that. I believe that's just my mind playing tricks on me, you see. Or, I need to be more positive. I need to stop being negative. My mom, my dad, and everyone else said that I tend to be quite negative, so, I really need to start looking at things, Please stop all of that self-talk. When the evidence is right there, when you know that you've had a number of deal breakers and so forth that state, I am not going to put up with this. That is not a part of the contract. If he or she asks me to do A, B, and C, I am not going to. You know that you have this list in your head. Why push it away? Why throw it all away? And why go along just to get along with some folks? Okay. For how long now? How long are we going to get along? You see, that's why you ended up distancing yourself to begin with. But they couldn't accept rejection. You see, rejection is what is the driving force behind these people not wanting to fully disconnect from us. The idea that you rejected me. I saw this long ago. I should have known something was up. Well, you know what? We're going to make something happen. I'm going to just go over there and I'm going to tell her about herself, and I'm going to, call her up every day if I have to. I'm going to show up on a job. I'm going to do whatever it takes. You see? You see, that's the kind of self-talk those other folks have. Because I'm not going to have anyone do this to me. I'm the power player here. I'm the one, that has done A, B, and C. He better recognize, he better know, I'm the captain. I'm the, driver of the bus. I'm the ruler of the castle. I'm the captain of the ship, you see? So they're having that kind of self-talk while we're having, this self-talk of maybe, or we should have, or we could have, or there might still be something to this. You see, God even shows us in his scripture that once he has given us that, escape plan, once he has severed the ties, once he has moved on our spirits, to cut some people off, we are not to go back. We are not to try to, make things happen. Because every time, I will tell you from personal experience, every time that I have gone back to an organization, I have gone back as far as a relationship goes, or I have, tried to reconnect with some folks, I found out even more stuff that I did not like. And the Lord's like, you want some more? Huh? You want to stick around? You want to stick around a little longer? Yeah, okay, sure. You want to stick around a little longer? I'm going to show you some more things. You see? Because I've already grieved the Holy Spirit by going back. The Holy Spirit had already warned me, gave me prophecy, had people lay hands on me, received visions, dreams, everything, but I went back anyway. Okay, so you didn't have enough, the Lord says. Because if you had enough, you wouldn't have gone back. You would have said, okay, Lord, I received this information and I'm going to move on with my life. It was a nice run and that's it. Nope. Sometimes we get greedy. Okay, let's look at it from a business perspective. We get greedy. Well, yeah, things were quite nice. And I did hear that they have some new contracts and so forth and new business is coming. Yeah. And I do know how much money I got the last time. So maybe if I just, let me just go back. Yeah. And then I'll be able to get some more. Yeah, that's right. But you left at the top of your game. You left while everybody was still, liking one another. Now you're going back and you're in the thick of things and you're making new enemies because you found out some other stuff was going on when they got the new contracts or when they signed on a dotted line with someone. You see, in business, it shows up. It shows up and then you realize, no, this person could actually be a detriment to me, or this person might even be a distraction. They might take me away from what I'm doing to be a part of their group. And then the next thing you know, I end up being caught up in something that I really didn't want to be a part of from the door. You see. So then God says, listen, I didn't call you to do all of this. I only called you to do a little bit of that. Okay. But now the expiration day has come and it's time to bid farewell, and leave the group while you still have a good reputation with them. But oh no, greedy for attention, greedy for affection, greedy for some money, whatever the greed is. Oh, I'm going back, whatever that cognitive dissonance is, you're carrying two conflicting thoughts and emotions and so forth inside your head. Oh, well, I'm just going to dismiss one of them, cancel out the one that's actually protecting you to go out there and fight a fight that God's not even a part of, or to connect with someone who God had long warned you about. Okay, good luck with that. And that's why as parents, sometimes it hurts us to our soul to see our children get connected with some shady people or to listen to some, messed up folks who have all sorts of agendas and then they fall for it. It hurts us because we remember those days when we fell for some things. You got away. What? You're back to dating so-and-so again? You're back to telling this one and that one all of your personal business. You're back to believing all of their lies again. You really think that this one is going to help you? I thought that you got free out of that bondage. I thought that we were going somewhere. I thought that God was with you. I mean, you did tell me that, you see. And then they get caught up in some traps again. Or you get some of these relatives or, friends or, even strangers on the street telling you some things and you can see right through it. That one's going to go right back to that ex. They're going to have some more problems. This time she might even go to jail because she doesn't know how to keep her hands to herself. Okay, he's sitting up here talking about all this stuff this woman, put him through. He's out of the relationship, but now he's talking about he might want to go back. Oh my goodness. And then what hurts is that then they want to get everybody else involved. Why don't you be happy for us? Why don't you come around us? Why don't you support us on our wedding? Why don't you, come over here, and help us with the children? You had one when you left. Yeah, I know. But now you're back in a relationship and you got two, and now you got three with this person that you told all of us that you didn't like anymore, that you didn't even love, and you want us to go along? Good luck with that. That's why some families, they don't go along with that foolishness. So if you're that one that's wondering, how come my family's not supportive and all of that, you got to consider all of the information that you gave them over the years concerning your partner. You also have to look at the fact that you're the one who is allowing somebody to attach themselves to you all over again after that family was supportive of you and was helping you out and was giving you so much, and now you're going back to the mess again. A dog returning back to the vomit. No, I'm sorry, you're not going to get support. Okay? I don't mean to be that one to hurt some folks' feelings, but if that's the direction that you're thinking about going after you done badmouth somebody, to your family, over time they're going to get tired of listening to all of your stuff, and they're going to get tired of bailing you out of your stuff. Okay. You see, God shows me some things about my personal life, and he also shows me some things about other folks too, who like to present themselves as being better and all knowing. And, I got my stuff together, when years ago, the reason why they continue to be in their toxic relationships and they are not achieving anything more than maybe occasional material wealth and so forth, but yet they are very much unhappy, is because years ago when someone told them to do some things and to detach from some shady stuff and shady people and, controlling individuals and so forth, they didn't want to listen, you see. Oh, this stuff carries on for years. I hate to be the one to tell some folks this, but, if you've been praying to the Lord about something and you just started and you've been with someone for years, most likely it's going to take you years to get out of it. If you are still being tempted and lured back into some mess with them. Oh, yeah. Because you have not gotten to that place where you're saying enough is enough and I'm not going to keep listening to the sales pitch any longer. So that's why they have an in into your life, because you keep listening to the sales pitch. You keep opening up your door and allowing that person to come in and sit at the table and eat with you. You continue to let this person call you and tell you all of their stuff that they're involved in. Okay. You continue to go where they are. So you invite these people, you allow them to attach themselves onto you. And then before long, you are doubting and you are reconsidering and you are doing all these things that person within that was trying to protect you, did. They tried, or she tried, or he tried, but no, you weren't interested. Because I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to give people the benefit of the doubt. And benefit of the doubt, I will tell you, has put many people in their grave. Well, he told me that all he wanted for me to do was come over and talk to him. Oh, I fell for that one. And when I got over there, let me tell you what happened. Okay, because the person was emotionally and physically abusive. But he supposedly had calmed down and he was okay with the breakup, right? So he wanted me to come over and pick up some things. Yeah, okay, sure. Right? But me being, so positive and so free-spirited and, I wasn't into God and I wasn't using any common sense or wisdom, I just decided to go over, anyway. And who knows, I may have had some needs at the time, if you know what I mean, without being too specific. So there I go, bouncing over there. And yes, the sales pitch was on and the tears were falling down his face. And the next thing you know, we're in the bed. And then before long, the old man shows up again. Now he's saying all sorts of crazy stuff to me, and the old me is saying, I'm not tolerating this foolishness. So I get the mouthing off, and he gets to taking his hands and doing what he liked to do, which was abuse me. Okay, so the writing was clear, that things hadn't changed. So how long did I go through this whole process of disconnecting and reconnecting? Well, people who are in violent relationships, right, with abusers or emotionally abusive ones, research says that it takes them 7 times to disconnect. So I think I took a little longer than that to disconnect over a 9-month period. So that means that there was over 7 breakups before finally the police had to get involved. Okay. Now, I don't know who I'm talking to about this particular part of the message, but you needed to hear that. Okay. Just sit back for a while and fast forward what the future looks like. Do you want more of the same? People don't change overnight, no matter how much talking that goes on with them. Mama talked to me about it. Daddy talked to me about it. Everybody talked to me about it. Okay, I'm going to change. I just want you back. I just want things to be better. No, it takes years, especially with abusers. It takes years for them to get over some things. And then, even then, they're not all together, put back together. They're not, because depending on how long that abuse took place in the relationship or what they witnessed growing up, they may never shake some things. Now, I know some people that may have stopped hitting, but then they're still emotionally abusive. Okay? I know some people who are physically abusive, but they're not so much emotionally abusive because they're not doing the name calling, right? But physical abuse also affects your emotions too. But folks who are up to no good are going to try to convince you of everything but the truth. Well, as long as you don't say this, as long as you don't do this, then you're not giving me any reason to want to put my hands on you. But if you say this and if you do this, then I'm going to have to go there on you, okay? Now, if you don't want that, right? That's how they reason. So they attach themselves. And if you are one of those that wants to doubt and reconsider and let me go back and, well, I was a little weak and all of this other stuff, well, you setting yourself up. Don't get God involved if you plan on running the show. Okay. That's what the Lord is telling me in the spirit. He says, do not pray to me if you plan on running the show, because that's just what it is. It's a show. It's a show for the public. But behind closed doors is something totally different. You're going to be acting like everything's okay because you've convinced everyone that you made the right decision, when behind closed doors, that it's the wrong decision. God doesn't want to be a part of that sort of thing. Okay? So that's why we need to pray and we need to trust in Him 100% wholeheartedly. Okay? We are flawed. We do make mistakes. But thank God for God, you see, because He will guide us to the truth. He will correct us on our errors. He will do what it is that needs to be done in order to free us from people who like to attach themselves to us. But we've got to trust in Him, though. We trusted in ourselves, and that's how we got caught up with all of the foolishness, and that's how we ended up going back, and that's how we ended up losing money or staying too long or doing whatever. Okay? So don't wish for the good old days. Don't think about all of this stuff that could have, should have, would have been. Instead, look at things for what they really are. See things for what they really are. Okay? And then make the decision whether or not you want to deal with that person or that group or whatever else is going on. Okay? I thank you so much, as always, for taking the time out to listen. Please do check the description box for anything related to your situation. This could very well be related to parents, grandparents, step-parents, cousins, uncles, fathers, people attaching themselves to you, very controlling, very narcissistic, bipolar types, and they don't want to see you go. Okay? They love their power and their control. They love the benefits. They don't want to see you go. But when God says it's time to go, it's time to go. So I thank you so much as always for listening, and to God be the glory.